to the coast and everywhere in between, weather affects us all.
Are you tired of winter?
Yes, very much so.
And when it comes to winter weather here in northern New England,
Ooh, my edges are not sharp.
Old saying, a bad day of skiing is better than a good day of anything else, and this was a good day of skiing.
nothing can beat its intensity or beauty.
And I love snow because I love to ski and I love to look at the beautiful landscapes of Maine.
Good evening, everyone. I'm News Center's Todd Gutner. Tonight, alongside our brand new state-of-the-art mobile weather lab, we're going to take you from the coastline to the mountains, showing you stories from Maine and New Hampshire that are everything winter. We're going to begin tonight's show with a trip to ski country. Tom Johnston shows us what makes the slope special all year round.
The ski industry in Maine is ever evolving, so much so that one can't simply call it just the ski industry anymore. Their goals have gotten loftier. Be a year-round destination. Offer more to do. Fun for the whole family.
We are a year-round destination now.
It's important to realize that this bustling microeconomy in the Maine mountains has far-reaching effects on locals and visitors alike.
We look at all of the economies that we affect. We look at our local economy, certainly. We look at our state economy. We look at the broader New England economy, maybe a little less so than the state. But I think that we regard ourselves as important to all of those economies, certainly as a contributor to it. But I think with the potential that we have to bring more and more people from away here as tourists in the winter, which Maine is always known as a wonderful destination, probably more so in the summer than the winter. So I feel like if we're able to capture these guests and bring them here and show them an incredible time in the winter, that's only going to increase the likelihood that they're going to also come back in the summer. And really that in and of itself helps contribute to the overall economy.
And as one of the largest employers in Maine, it pays to be optimistic. And in this industry, that means staying positive about the prospects of a cold, snowy winter. It's still the bread and butter.
I think that to be in this business, you have to be eternally optimistic, and I see this being a fabulous winter.
Spending over $2.5 million to improve snowmaking and infrastructure bolsters that optimism. But Darcy says it's about showcasing Maine, bringing people here, and keeping them coming for generations to come. Her family is an example.
My husband and I are one of them. I mean, we grew up skiing here. Our kids are skiing here now. I have one who's a mini runner, so she's a 4-year-old, and she's absolutely killing it on the slopes. They love it, and we love it, because this is something that we're going to be able to do with them for the rest of their life. And we enjoy as much the skiing with them as we do the hot chocolate breaks with them. Any parent will tell you, no matter what you do, it's a lot of work, whether you're on vacation or just at home with them day to day, but so worth it, absolutely.
Meteorologist Tom Johnston, News Center.
Sunday River, Sugarloaf, and several New Hampshire mountains are now open for the season, and the rest will follow soon. So go skiing. Now next up this evening, king tides. They threaten the coastline a few times a year with storm surge and beach erosion. But will these giant tides be the new norm? Corey Frumpkin tells us more.
It was a storm many in northern New England remember well, the Patriots' Day storm of 2007. The nor'easter punished the Maine coast with waves, wind, and torrential rains. According to the National Weather Service in Gray, storm surge in Portland reached 2.7 feet with over 5.5 inches of rain falling over 3 days. A system that strong hitting communities is scary to forecasters and researchers, especially when looking to the future.
With rising sea levels, king tides, and also storm activity, we're getting a good glimpse of where the water may end up years down the road.
Gail Bonus with the Gulf of Maine Research Institute says as sea level increases, smaller storms will be much more dangerous, even rivaling the Patriots' Day nor'easter.
As sea level rises, smaller storms are going to have the same impact that that storm did.
She says the changes won't be drastic. It'll take some time. The king tides now, which are the highest tides of the year, are a good indication of what will be the new normal.
But that flooding happened like less than 10 times last year. With a foot of sea level rise, that's going to happen almost 100 times.
When I first saw the flooding over by U-Haul,
Jan Parabeck, a professor at the University of Southern Maine and a king tide enthusiast, helped to create the King Tide Walking Trail. a map that shows places at risk for flooding during the king tides. She says education is key.
I believe, however, that the general public doesn't really fully understand what's happening. I think that was proven last year on September 30th when we had a torrential rain and it met the high tide. We had cars stranded right here.
With all of these factors coming into play, the time to prepare is now.
Should be a wake-up call that we really do need to do something and be very proactive, and we need to all work together.
Working together to keep us dry a little bit longer.
The next round of king tides will flow in a couple of weeks, and their expected arrival last month's very high levels. Coming up, snowmobile season is right around the corner, and Jessica Conley will take us to the trails.
Believe it or not, this is all done pretty much by hand. Our staff is tremendously dedicated. They're out 2 or 3 nights a week. Everybody works full time.
Before we take a quick break, we have some winter weather trivia for you. What is the coldest temperature ever recorded in Maine? Was it -40, -50, or -60? We'll have the answer in just a minute. Before the break, we asked you if you knew what the coldest temperature ever recorded in Maine was. The answer is B, -50. It was recorded in Big Black River back on January 16th, 2009. Welcome back to this evening's Storm Center Winter Weather Special. We continue now with a look at one of Maine's most popular winter sports, snowmobiling, or as we call it around here, sledding. Here's Jessica Conley with more.
Believe it or not, this is all done pretty much by hand.
Snowmobile clubs have been working hard preparing for the upcoming season.
Yeah, our trail system, we take care of every bit of it. The membership, it drives the community, it drives all this. We have 80 to 100 members a year. And if we can get 15 to 20 of those to become active out here, that's good for us.
The Saco Pathfinders Club maintains over 50 miles of snowmobiling trails in southern Maine.
Our staff is tremendously dedicated. They're out 2 or 3 nights a week. Everybody works full time. This is volunteer, so they're out on their own time, doing these late at night, and we have really, really nice trails around here.
Annually, it takes between 1,500 and 2,000 hours for a club to maintain 40 to 50 miles of trails.
It's a labor of love, but you get some beautiful trail rides here. These old growth forests that are just really nice in the winter to drive through, and you run into deer occasionally. You see an occasional moose here.
They also say
and
it's fun because the whole family can hang out together.
These guys will be out. They'll be on a 2-up sled, and you'll see a lot of 2-ups out here with mom and dad driving and the young one on the back seat. We like when the guys bring their kids because hopefully it's passing it on, and they see how what it takes to manage this out here. But that's half the fun.
They hope this winter will be a lot better than the last.
So we look for a good frost to get in the ground, 6 or 8 inches of snow, let people go out there and pack it down a little bit. And then if we can get another 6 or 8 inches on top of that, then we can send the groomers out and really work the snow. If we can get a foot to 18 inches over a few days and really work that, then after that, everything's gravy.
I'm Storm Center meteorologist Jessica Conley.
Snowmobile clubs are located all over Maine, and they're constantly welcoming new members. If you're interested, visit mesnow.com. Mount Washington. It's home to the world's worst weather. We'll take you to the top coming up.
The amount of ice we can get when the visibility just dropped to the point where you put your hand in front of your face and you can hardly even see your hand. Mom, we'll go up to the top of the tower with a crowbar and manually break all that ice off.
We have another winter weather trivia question for you. What is the most snow ever recorded in Maine over the course of one season? Is it 237.6 inches, 280.4 inches, or 305.2 inches? The answer in just a minute. Before the break, we asked you if you knew what the most snow ever recorded in Maine over the course of one season was. The answer is A, 237.6 inches in Long Falls Dam during the 1968-1969 winter season. Mount Washington. It's New England's highest point above sea level, and anyone can head to the summit during the summer. But I learned that you've got to be tough to spend time at the top during the winter. These guys have enough supplies for a week, but they're not heading off on an exotic vacation. They're clocking into work. We're heading up the Mount Washington Auto Road, and it can be treacherous all times of the year.
The difference,
Meet Alyssa.
for example,
She's in charge of logistics.
the weather at the bottom of the mountain on a given day and the weather at the top of the mountain still never fails to amaze me. There have definitely been a few where we couldn't make it.
I was thinking this would be another.
I want to get stuck.
Glad you're coming.
We are on home stretch.
Phew, we made it safely through.
Pass them down. That's important.
It's 37 degrees and the wind's only blowing at 20 miles per hour. We're getting off pretty easy up here on the top of Mount Washington. But at 6,288 feet, the weather up here can change on a dime. After all, it is home to the world's worst weather. Their first stop is the weather briefing room, where they get the news a foot of snow is on the way.
This time of year, it's like we're ready for full-on Mount Washington.
So when you, you're probably going to get at least a foot of snow. It looks like. Are you guys psyched for that? Is that good?
We'd like to get a little more.
When you think of Mount Washington, you think of wicked wind and a ton of snow. But believe it or not, we've only seen one snowblower while we've been up here. Back inside now, this is Caleb. He's simply known as the night guy.
So I don't see any daylight throughout the week, right now especially. So this is my only day to get some daylight, so I'm kind of trying to soak it in once we break out of the clouds. But yes, that's why they actually refer to us to be seen as the vampires for the show. I don't do all the weird things that vampires do, but we'll go with it.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you're not going to
That's why I was hired. Don't worry, it's all good.
Yeah, we come out here every hour to take our observation. These are relatively simple, straightforward. You're in the fog. I can't really see much. Don't need my sunglasses right now, that's for sure.
Really, the worst has been lately just the amount of ice we can get when the visibility just drop to the point where you put your hand in front of your face and you can hardly even see your hand. So we'll go up to the top of the tower with a crowbar and manually break all that ice off.
I kind of come out here and I'll walk around the deck, look in all directions, get the prevailing visibility. So our wind instruments are up there on the top of the tower. 34.5 degrees right now, so dropped a little bit, still above freezing though. When it's very windy, I'm going to de-ice. I'll come back in here and I'll be like shaking. It's like an adrenaline rush. So my handwriting gets a lot sloppier in the worst of the weather.
So maybe the most important member of the team up here on the top of Mount Washington is this guy right here. This is Marty. Hi, buddy. They say he's the boss. What's his accuracy like?
Like 50% probably.
And yours?
Hit or miss. It's about 98.
98?
Yeah.
You're like the world's best meteorologist.
I'm pretty good, yeah.
So Mainers may be just a little bit jealous of Mount Washington, but hey, we got Katahdin.
I enjoy it. It's not many people, probably most people wouldn't necessarily say that, but I think all the guys that work up here, it's kind of what we obviously enjoy it.
It's in your blood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back to the vampire subject.
Back to the vampire. Yeah, it all comes back to vampires.
That's right.
Full circle. You can actually vacation at the Mount Washington Observatory during the dead of winter. If you're interested, visit mountwashington.org, but hurry, those guest rooms fill up fast. After the break, Keith Carson shows us what it takes to put a winter forecast together.
So the weather company's outlook for the next 3 months, December, January, and February, for most of the nation is above normal temps.
We have another winter weather trivia question for you. What is the greatest snowfall in Maine during a 24-hour period? Is it A, 40 inches, B, 48 inches, or C, 52 inches? The answer in just a moment. Before the break, we asked if you knew what's the greatest snowfall in Maine during a 24-hour period. The answer is 40 inches. It fell in Orono on December 30th, 1962. Once again, welcome back to our Storm Center Winter Weather Special. Have you ever wondered how a meteorologist predicts the weather weeks, even months in advance? It's called long-range forecasting, and as Keith Carson shows us, it's both a science and an art.
Seasonal forecasting. If you think about it, it's a lot like pant sizes. You tend to only believe them when the number suits your needs and prior expectations. We took a trip down to the weather company in Andover, Massachusetts to get their thoughts on the upcoming winter and the accuracy of seasonal forecasts on the whole. In addition to the National Weather Service and Farmer's Almanac, private weather firms like the Weather Company produce their own seasonal outlooks, largely designed for energy traders who want to know where the biggest demand might be during the winter.
So the weather company's outlook for the next 3 months, December, January, and February, for most of the nation is above normal temps. We think the warmest temps will be across the central part of the country, so areas like the plains and Midwest. The East Coast, including Maine, looks more changeable in nature. Some cool shots coming down, but overall we think temps will run pretty close to average for the average 3-month period.
That sounds well and fine, but how often are you right?
So in general, the weather company's forecast accuracy is about 65%. That means we're directionally correct 65% of the time on the seasonal forecast.
Wait, what was that again?
That means we're directionally correct.
What does directionally correct actually mean? Well, if you predicted the Patriots would win Super Bowl 49 by 57 points, you would have been directionally correct by picking them, despite the 4-point margin of victory by the skin of Malcolm Butler's teeth. See what I'm getting at here? Magnitude doesn't matter. So if the winter, on the whole, is at all above average, it'll be a W for the forecast. What are the constraints of a more finite, accurate forecast? Well, on average, predictability is just 10 to 20 minutes for a tornado, 4 days for a winter storm, and 7 to 10 days for a general weather pattern change. After 10 days, well, you just hope to be directionally correct. Last but not least, what about the Farmer's Almanac? They predict an ice-cold and snow-filled winter.
When you speak in vagaries, like saying cold periods or mild spells or occasional snowfall, that's not really telling anybody anything. That's going to happen every winter regardless of what the type of pattern is.
For News Center, I'm meteorologist Keith Carson.
Now it's our turn to take a stab at this upcoming winter's snowfall. The 5 of us have crunched all the numbers, we've analyzed all the charts, so let's take a look. First of all, this is how much snow falls in a normal winter, roughly 60 inches along the coast and 100 inches in the mountains. Now this is what we're expecting over the next few months. We think that snow amounts will be slightly above average for the season, with 60 to 70 inches along the coastline and 100 plus inches up in the mountains. No doubt about it, it certainly won't be as easy or as lame, depending on your perspective, as last winter. That's going to do it for us tonight. We want to thank you for watching our Storm Center Winter Weather Special. Have a nice evening and happy holidays. Alongside our brand new state-of-the-art mobile weather lab, we're going to show you stories from...
We have... Sorry, I was just...
Yeah.
Can we do that again?
You can at least just point at it.
Even to well,
like people know the difference.
Cue the lawnmower.
Yeah.
It's on top of the pavement.
And you get splashed once in a while.
And you get splashed. Exactly.
Anyway, we can...
No, you really won't.
He's going to put that in there somehow. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yep.
Oh boy.
We're getting a glimpse of where we will probably see the water at. Let me try that one again.
What I was saying before was that this is a really great place to work at. A lot of great people.
Let me see here. What else can I talk about? I got nothing out here.
One more? Thank you. I think she thinks I'm Carson. What an insult. We need that on tape. She called me Charlie. Yeah. Thank you. You've been Charlie. Let's see, I've been Carson, I've been Charlie. This is awesome.
2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
There it is, right there, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's the one I was looking for right there. That bite right there.
We're heading up. Oh, no we're not. Not yet.
With rising, hold on, in 3, 2, 1.
They threaten the coastline a few times a year with
With rising sea waters and levels, nope, hold on. Rising sea level.
I'm pretty sure we need to mic you up, actually. You came up with a Wookiee app, so.
3, 2, 1.
What was that? I said you guys hype it up here also, and I'm kidding. We don't hype on TV at all.
Welcome back. Welcome back to our winter. So probably the most important member of the team up here on the summit is this guy right here. This is Marty. Hey Marty. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, he's not waking up. Hang on. Oh, there he goes. All right, let's try it again.
Here's your buddy.
Here it comes. See, we're all right, we tight.
You want to interact with him?
Marty, what's up, man?
Here's Jessica Conley with more.
That guy. The guy is always around.
But believe it or not, we've only seen one snowmobile. Nope. 3, 2, 1. You can actually vacation at the Mount Washington. That was pretty loud, huh? Yeah. And then I roll right into the next one, though, right? Oh,
Including November. Never mind. Sorry.
it was pretty close. It was almost a keeper, I think.